www.laffa.org/conv-delegates, you will find the agenda for this session. We will now call the roll. When your chapter is called, please unmute your microphone and tell us how many delegates from your chapter are present, 1 or 2. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Acadiana. Assumption High.
Here.
How many delegates do you have? 1 or 2?
I'm waiting for the second one to join. She should be on any minute.
Okay. Basile FFA. Oshan.
Here and 2.
Bell City.
We have 2 delegates.
Central Lafourche.
We have one in right now, but our second one is attempting to get on. It's giving him trouble.
Crowley. Denham Springs High.
Crowley's here.
How many delegates do you have?
2.
Thank you. Dodson. East Ascension.
Here and 1.
Elton.
Here and 2.
Eunice. Florine.
2 delegates.
Iberville MSA West.
1.
Iowa. Jenna. Kaplan.
2 delegates.
Kinder. Minden. North Central. North Shore.
We have 2 delegates.
Northwest.
He says he's trying
We have
to
2 delegates.
Yeah,
Pearl River.
I'll send a message to Mr.
We have 2 delegates.
Plainview. Ponchatoula.
Here and 1.
Port Barry.
Delegates.
I want to send him a text message just in case he didn't get the chat.
Port Barry.
2.
Rain.
2.
Ruston.
We have 1 and another trying to get in.
Saline. Simsboro. Starks.
2.
Thibodeau.
We have 2 delegates. Here.
Tioga. Ville Platte.
2.
Vinton. Walker.
2.
Westlake. I'm sorry, West Washita.
2.
West Washita has 2. Okay.
Yes.
Westlake. And Winfield. Mr. President, there are 38 delegates present.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I would just like to remind everyone that if you're not speaking, please remember to keep your microphones muted. Thank you.
Caleb,
According to our state FFA constitution, it is the annual requirement of the delegates to set dues for the upcoming school year. The recommendation from the executive committee is currently or will be displayed on your screen. Please take a few seconds to review the information.
Caleb,
Yes, sir.
can we determine, I think Lackassine, I think I missed them on the list. How many does Lackassine have here?
Let's see.
One.
One from Lackassine?
Yes, sir.
And then Assumption has 2 now.
I think Central Lafourche had one join. Did any other chapter have anyone just come in?
Miss Lejeune, our second one's trying to get on, but like the program's being weird.
I saw that it just came in. I don't know if they can see or hear, but I counted them.
Is Central still having trouble? Or okay. According to our state FFA constitution, it is the annual requirement of the delegates to set dues for the upcoming school year. The recommendation from the executive committee is currently displayed on your screen. Please take a few seconds to review the information. The chair will now entertain a motion to set dues for the 2021-2022 school year. Or if there is no objection to this report, we will now approve it. All in favor of approving state dues for the 2021-2022 school year as presented, please vote yes when the poll is shown on your screen. All opposed to approving, please vote no when the poll is shown on your screen. Anyone who does not see the poll, please raise your hand, your virtual hand, and we will assist you.
Caleb, are you ready for me to close the poll?
Yes, sir. I see Elton 1 or 2 has their hand raised.
As of right now, the vote is 37-0, so regardless, the majority is gonna pass it.
Okay, well, the vote was 36-4 and 0 against. The motion passes. A very important part of our yearly program is awarding state FFA degrees and honorary state FFA degrees. In order for this to officially take place, delegates must approve the decision to award the recipients. All of the recipients have gone through an application process in order to be eligible to receive these awards. The applications were then reviewed by a committee made up of agriculture teachers who decided if the applications met the criteria. The chair will entertain a motion to approve these candidates for the state FFA degree and the honorary state FFA degree ceremony. So if someone could move to approve the state degree recipients for this year, and can another member second it?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I move to approve the list of state degree and honorary state degree recipients.
I second.
Did someone second it?
Yes, sir. Yes, Chair.
If there is no discussion, we will now approve these candidates. If there's no discussion, we will now proceed to vote by general consent. Is there any objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion carries. The state degrees will be conferred at the 4th General Session of State Convention on June 9th. The honorary state degrees will be conferred during the 5th General Session of State Convention on June 10th. We will now hear from the chairs of our program of activities and audit committees as they deliver their committee reports. Once the reports are read, you will have the opportunity to discuss the reports and vote to either accept or reject the reports. You are allowed to amend the reports, but only to the extent that the report's original intents are not altered. If the reports are approved, they will be forwarded to the executive committee for further action. Would the chair of the Program of Activities Committee please come forward and deliver the committee report?
The program and activities offered to Louisiana FFA members develop premier leadership, personal growth, and career success. And the Louisiana FFA Association used the COVID-19 pandemic and associated scheduled disruptions to rethink FFA programs and implement new activities. These are the recommendations. Continue working with Alabama FFA and Mississippi FFA to provide multi-state training for state officers to exchange ideas and grow relationships. If virtual workshops are offered for future events, limit the workshop time to 45 minutes to an hour and offer a camp in a box for participants. On the state and area officer request form, add a section for teachers to write notes about students' needs and interests to better help the officer prepare for the visit. Continue to schedule the State Leadership Delegates Conference, SLDC, as one-day events in centralized parts of the state. Require that each area officer team submit at least one delegate issue for SLDC considerations. Permanently schedule awards review day, state and area officer candidate schools, and state and area non-com committee trainings as virtual events. Prior to the start of state nominating committee, arrange a social event for committee members and candidates to interact to relax the participants before interviews begin. On behalf of the committee members, this report respectfully submitted Friday, May 28th, 2021 by Committee Chair Faith Thibodeau, Committee Vice Chair Cindy Walker, witnessed by Committee Secretary Sadie Foster. The committee recommendations passed by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. Is there any debate on this committee report? Hearing none, we will now vote. All in favor of approving the POA report as presented, please vote yes when the poll is shown on your screen. All opposed to approving, please vote no when the poll is shown on your screen. Anyone who does not see the poll, please raise your virtual hand, and we will assist you. I have about 10 more seconds to vote. Mr. Lejeune, you can go ahead and close the poll.
Caleb, we're missing about 8 votes. There's 45 people. Well, I'm not sure how many people are not voting delegates. How many delegates do we say we have?
39.
We had a few more show up. We're at 41 and we have 37 votes. So it looks like 4 of you have not voted if you intend to vote.
Have those 4 people gotten a chance to vote yet? And if we can help, please let us know.
You ready for me to close it?
Yes, sir. The vote passes. We will now hear from the chair of the Audit Committee report. Once the report is read, you will have the opportunity to discuss the report and vote to either accept or reject the report. You are allowed to amend the report, but only to the extent that the report's original intent is not altered. If the report is approved, they will be forwarded to the Executive Committee for further action. Will the chair of the Audit Committee please come forward and deliver the committee report?
Whereas the Louisiana FFA Association functions as a nonprofit organization for the advancement of leadership in agriculture education, and whereas the Louisiana FFA Association is entrusted with the efficient management of member dues, chapter fees, and the other generated income, therefore be it resolved that the Audit Committee finds the association to be in good financial standing. On behalf of committee members, this report respectfully submitted Friday, May 28th, 2021 by Committee Chair Megan Chasson, Committee Vice Chair Haley Fashon, witnessed by Committee Secretary Faith Thibodeau. The committee recommendation passed by a vote of 8-0.
Is there any discussion on this, on the Audit Committee's report? Hearing none, we shall now proceed to vote. All those in favor of passing this committee report, please vote yes when the poll is shown on your screen. All opposed to approving, please vote no when the poll is shown on your screen. And again, if you do not see the poll, please raise your hand and we will assist you. Mr. Lejeune, if everyone's gotten a chance to vote, you can go ahead and close the poll. The vote was 98% in favor and 2% against. The Audit Committee report passes. We will now hear from the chairs of our delegate committees as they deliver their committee reports. Once the reports are read, you will have the opportunity to discuss the reports and vote to either accept or reject the reports. You are allowed to amend the reports, but only to the extent that the report's original intents are not altered. If the reports are approved, they will be forwarded to the Executive Committee for further action. Would the chair of Delegate Committee 1 please come forward and deliver the committee report?
Recommendations. Change the name of Colt Conferences to 212-360. Have a statewide Green Hand Conference as well as Colt Conferences. Revise the event to include all FFA members, not just chapter officers. The committee recommendation passed by a 7-0 vote. On behalf of committee members, this report respectfully submitted Wednesday, May 26, 2021 by Committee Chair Peyton Little, Committee Vice Chair Lauren Poole, witnessed by Committee Secretary Bailey Sandell. This committee did not achieve a quorum of registered delegates. Of the 20 delegates registered, 7 were in attendance. Mr. President, I move that this report be accepted as read.
Because this report comes from a committee, there is an implied second. We will now discuss this report. Is there any discussion? Since there is none, we will now vote. All in favor of approving the report, please vote yes when the poll is shown on your screen. All opposed to approving, please vote no when the poll is shown on your screen. Anyone who does not see the poll, please raise your virtual hand and we will assist you. Mr. Lejeune, if everyone had a chance to vote, you can go ahead and close the poll. The vote was 95% in favor and 5% opposed. The committee report passes. Would the chair of Delegate Committee 2 please come forward and deliver the committee report?
Recommendations. Area officers should make industry visits with state officers, gradually working up to the point where they will be able to conduct visits by themselves. Area officers should conduct more chapter visits. Area officers should complete community service projects as a way to give back to the community and raise awareness of FFA. The committee recommendation passed by a 10-0 vote. On behalf of committee members, this report respectively was submitted Wednesday, May 26, 2021 by Committee Chair Kirsten Onkow and witnessed by Committee Secretary Jalen Graham. This committee did not achieve a quorum of registered delegates. Of the 20 delegates registered, 10 were in attendance. Mr. President, I move this report to be accepted as read.
Because this report comes from a committee, there is an implied second. We will now discuss this report. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we shall now proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving this committee report, please vote yes when the poll is shown on your screen. All opposed to approving, please vote no when the poll is shown on your screen. If everyone's had a chance to vote, we will now close the poll. The vote was 98% for and 2% against. The motion passes. Will the chair of Delegate Committee 3 please come forward and deliver the committee report?
The Committee for Evaluating the Need for an At-Large State Vice President position recommends make sure the Vice President at large is doing adequate chapter visits within the area they would be representing. Process to show that the Vice President at large is informed about the area which they would be filling in. The way the Vice President at large should be chosen should be based not only on scores, but also on the candidate's geographical location. The committee recommendation passed by a 9-0 vote. On behalf of committee members, this report respectfully submitted Wednesday, May 26, 2021 by Committee Chair Kylie Trish, Committee Vice Chair Annie Hurd, witnessed by Committee Secretary Abigail Davis. This committee did not achieve a quorum of registered delegates. Of the 20 delegates registered, 9 were in attendance.
Because this report comes from a committee, there is an implied second. We will now discuss this report. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we shall now proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the report, please vote yes when the poll is shown on your screen. All opposed to approving, please vote no when the poll is shown on your screen. Again, anyone who's not seen the poll, we will assist you. If everyone's had a chance to vote, we will now close the poll. The vote was 80% for and 20% against. The motion passes. Would the chair of Delegate Committee 4 please come forward and deliver the committee report?
Committee 4, evaluating the effectiveness of virtual events, recommends tests within competitions should remain virtual. A virtual option for all FFA competitions, taking into consideration of school policies due to COVID-19, should continue being offered. The committee recommendation passed by 13-0 vote. On behalf of the committee members, this report respectively submitted Wednesday, May 26, 2021 by Committee Chair Layla Schindler, witnessed by Committee Secretary Olivia Quirk. Mr. President, I move that this report be accepted as read.
Because this report comes from a committee, there is an implied second. We will now discuss this report. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Madam Speaker.
I stand against this motion because several members feel like it's more difficult for them to take tests online and they'd rather just have a handwritten test and a handwritten Scantron to turn it in on, as well as the logistics of having a hybrid contest for all events.
Is there any further debate?
Mr. Chair,
Madam Speaker.
I'm against this motion in regards of the virtual aspect to allowing both the in-person and virtual aspect, because I feel that is unnecessary and too much work for the state office.
Is there any further debate? Hearing none, we shall now vote. All in favor of approving the report, please vote yes when the poll is shown on your screen. All opposed to approving, please vote no when the poll is shown on your screen. Anyone who does not see the poll, please raise your virtual hand and remember that we will assist you. We will now close this poll. The vote was 25% in favor and 75% opposed. The motion fails. Before we go, I would like to remind all of you to check out our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, on Monday, May 31st at 12 p.m. for the State Nominating Committee report. State officer elections will take place on June 2nd and June 3rd. Please talk with your advisors to get your instructions and voting codes. We look forward to seeing many of you in person on June 7th through the 10th for the 92nd State FFA Convention in Alexandria. Make sure to visit our website at www.laffa.org/state-convention for the latest convention information. Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have none, Mr. President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should now come before this meeting? Hearing none, I now declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you to to everyone for attending this delegate session.